When we start a creative project, it is almost impossible to follow in a fixed plan, be it while writing a novel or maybe building a startup, because creativity in itself brings in a bit of chaos, and we have to figure out a lot of things while we are doing the project. It's a bit uneasy for us, but that is what we're going to discuss in this video today, so keep watching. Let me start off with a story of the game designer called Gabe Kozilo. So Kozilo wanted to build a stealth game where the player had to walk through corridors and sneak up behind guards and grab them and throw them on the walls. But when the game was done, it became something completely different. So there was no stealth, there was no human character. What became of the game was a smash 'em up, a rampaging, a game where the central character was an ape, and the game was called Ape Out. Now, this is a common phenomenon where we start off with an initial idea or a plan on a script, but eventually we deprioritize it in the pursuit of creativity. In game design methodology, this is called following the fun. So often little side experiments or bugs or side effects from little experiments become so interesting that they take the center stage. For example, in the case of Ape Out, the grab and throw mechanism added to most of the juice of the game, so it had to take center stage, and eventually all the other decisions were anchored to it. So this is something I like to call the anchor mechanics, and once you figure out the anchor mechanics of a game or a project, you can ruthlessly prioritize. So everything that doesn't fit can be chucked out, and you can have razor focus on only what works. Let me tell you one more story. So back in 2010, there was an app called Bourbon, which was a mobile check-in app where you could check into restaurants, plan check-ins with restaurants with your friends, hang out, and then score points. Very similar to what Foursquare was back in the day. The problem was that the app was not very successful, and the founders kept on tweaking and adding one or two features to see what works. So once the founder, once they had added a couple of features, they found that people were not even using the check-in feature at all. What they were using was a side feature, which was like clicking and sharing photos with their friends, and people were using this feature like crazy. So the founders took a drastic decision of making the photo sharing feature as the central feature of the app, kind of like the anchor mechanics, and then scrape everything else, right? That would become the center stage. No check-in, no planning check-ins, no gamification by points, etc. And what became of the app eventually is what we now know as Instagram, the simple photo sharing application. Right? So you start off with an initial idea, a hunch or a hypothesis, but this is not something that is written on stone, right? Being very honest, 90% of the ideas come after you sit down to write something, and the business model is defined actually after you start the business. Right? And we have seen this case time and again. For example, the game streaming startup Twitch started off as Justin.tv, which was a general interest streaming platform, but then the founders found out that most of the users were focused on streaming video games, so they focused on streaming only video games and made it their anchor mechanics. Similarly, Twitter started off as a status updating platform, which was eventually pivoted into a breaking news platform, which was focused on news and entertainment, right? Now, this is the most common phenomena, but it's extremely counterintuitive as well. What is intuitive is top-down thinking, which we often do. We start off with an initial notion and we try to force it into the project even if it doesn't work. But that is not how creativity is fostered. You need a bit of chaos in the whole project to foster creativity. Just a bit of chaos, because innovation is in itself chaotic. You do not know where you're going to end. It might be fruitful, it may not be. Most of the cases it's not, but you need chaos to foster creativity and innovation. You need just the amount of chaos, not a tremendous amount of chaos to bring the whole project down. So the suggestion is to do a lot of experiments, little experiments, and see what works, and follow actually what works. Follow the fun or repeat what works, and giving the project, the creation itself, the opportunity opportunity to create itself, because it is not about you. I mean, believe it or not, it is not about the creator. It is more about the creation. You are just an experimenter whose sole job is to facilitate the creation of the creation itself, right? You are there to do little experiments and take the creation, take its own course. And therefore I emphasize upon the point of figuring things out on the way. And doing little experiments gives you the opportunity to stumble upon great ideas, which eventually can become the central theme or the anchor mechanics of the whole project, which will eventually allow you to anchor all future design decisions around it, right? And that is how all projects are done. Understanding this idea gives you a certain amount of freedom, because you know that your preconceived notions are going to be wrong, and you have to do a lot of experiments to find out the anchor mechanic, and then and only then you can start shaping up the project. And this gives you an unfair advantage over others, because when people are getting out of their comfort zone, when all of their plans are failing, it's just day one for you. You are still figuring things out, and this is a tremendous advantage, what I think. That is all for today. I hope you like this idea. My name is Abhishek, and I post a new video every Sunday where I talk about a new idea that gives you an unfair advantage over others. So it's a good idea to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you are notified whenever the next video comes out. I'll see you soon. Till then, peace.